Hobonichi season is upon us, and the Tomoe River paper gods themselves have descended to bless us with 2024 planners starting in September. So I wanted to make this guide for how to choose a Hobonichi. If you are new here, my name is Rachel. We're gonna go through all of the bits and bobs that you need to know before you make a purchase at the Hobonichi store or at your local reseller. This is gonna include practical information and also the questions I asked myself to help me decide when I made my purchase. We're gonna look at some of the books that I have in stock, and we're going to sum it all up by talking about the one all-rounder planner that you might need if this is your first time buying from Hobonichi. All right, let's get going. So I actually think choosing a Hobonichi, Hobonichi makes it pretty easy to know the differences between their planners, and I'll leave sort of a spec sheet down below with information on each of them side by side that Hobonichi puts out every year. But essentially I want to run you through the basic types of Hobonichi planners that you're going to be seeing, and then I want to talk to you about the different axes on which I think you should be choosing a planner when you are approaching the Hobonichi site. This is true if it's your first time choosing a Hobonichi planner, or if you are a veteran. I think it's always good to think along different things like what you want your planner to hold, where you want to plan itself. Do you want to have something that's portable on the go, or do you want to have something that stays at your desk? That kind of stuff. So first, quick breakdown of all the different types of planners. Now before you see the 5 different Hobonichi types of planners that I have used. I've used a Hobonichi Cousin, a Hobonichi Weeks, a Hobonichi Weeks Sneaker Mega, Hobonichi Techo Original, and a Hobonichi Techo English planner. So I'm going to start with the Hobonichi Techo Original. I think this is the best place to start because I believe it was their first planner, or one of the first planners that they put out. It is A6 size. It has 1 page per day, so its primary function is a daily page. This is in Japanese, so all the quotes are in Japanese, although it's really easy to use in English. As you can see, the numbers are in English, and then on the monthly section, the days of the week are in English, so super easy to use if you don't speak Japanese. And it comes with a year at a glance like this. It comes with a monthly section, and then it comes with these daily pages. Now, Hobonichi has this in Japanese, and they also have, for 2024, an English version of this. The English version is releasing in October, I believe. So you'll have to wait a little bit if you want the English version, but essentially what the English version means is that these quotes down at the bottom and these characters, those are all in English. So you'll be able to see what day of the week it is, for example. They also have in the same size the planner, what they're just calling the planner, which is also A6 size. It is also 1 page per day. You can see the daily layout is a little bit different, and it is in English. So this is actually an English planner. It has a slightly bigger grid size than the original. You can see here that the grid is just a little bit smaller than the planner grid here. This particular planner also doesn't have the colors. So one factor of the Hobonichi planner is that it has these colors demarcating. It has these different colors demarcating the months, which people have mixed opinions on. Sometimes you like them, sometimes you hate them. The English version of this planner in 2024 has the same colors for each month. You can see it's like brown for September, purple for October, but this planner does not have any of those colors. It just has Sundays in red, and that's the only change. Otherwise, it's a black grid all the way through. This also has yearly overviews at the beginning, and it has monthly sections. Again, the monthly section layout is a little bit different. And then it goes right into a day per page. The next planner I want to talk about is the Hobonichi Cousin. So the Hobonichi Cousin is an A5 size planner. It's quite a bit bigger than the A6 planners. A6 planners are half of the size of an A5 planner, has a similar thickness. This one's a little bit thicker because I have personally taped things in. Similar thickness. It also has a day per page. So if we go to the back, a full day per page. It also has the colors on the side. So this is December. It's sort of this cherry red. November is this green, etc., etc. The colors are exactly the same as in the A6 original. And it has all the features that the A6 original has, just in a larger version. So a day per page, a monthly overview in the beginning. This is a sticker I added. It doesn't come native to the planner. Yearly overviews, monthly sections, And of course, as I said before, daily sections, but it also has, and this is probably what you've seen all over social media, a very snazzy weekly section that looks like this. The weekly section has a sidebar and has a timeline down the side here from 5 a.m. to 5 a.m. So it's a 24-hour clock written in military time. And of course, it has the days of the weeks up at the top. And it has a weekly section like this, continuing out for the entire year. This particular planner is a spring start planner. For the fall, all of the planners that they release in September are going to start in January and end in December of 2024. This particular planner that I have here is a spring start planner. They do Hobonichi does a second release starting in February. So if you don't get your hands on any of the planners you want, or you just don't want to buy a Hobonichi right now in fall when they're doing their big launch, you can also purchase one in the spring, and those will start in April. So this particular planner starts in April, but the spring start cousin and the January start cousin is exactly the same on the inside. There are no differences. The next planner I want to talk about is the day free planner. There is an A5 and an A6 size, just like with the Hobonichi cousin and the Hobonichi Techo. I don't actually have the day free planners. I'm going to be trying them for 2024, but I will be putting graphics up on the screen while I talk about them. So it's about this size, but it's a little bit less thick because the day free planner combines only the monthly calendar with the graph paper notebook. So essentially you get a monthly calendar that looks just like this. And then in the back, instead of it being colored pages, it's just blank grid paper. I believe they still have the quotes down at the bottom, but it's just blank. Because of that, the day per page is less thick. It doesn't have one page per day. It's basically like a monthly calendar combined with a graph paper notebook. So they don't try to have one page per day, but they do have about 170 pages of graph paper in the back of them. And that's for the A6 and for the A5. Another type of planner that Hobonichi has that I am quite a fan of is the Hobonichi Weeks. So the Hobonichi Weeks is among the most customizable of planners, but it primarily will come in this slim vertical size. So it's not as wide as a traditional notebook, but it is this like sort of strange skinny like wallet size shape. This planner is built around the weeklies and it is quite small to write in. You have a horizontal weekly here on one half of the weekly page, and then it has a blank memo page. This layout is hugely versatile. You can draw lines down this, segment it out, do whatever you want with this page. I really like it as a weekly. And then it also has about 75 plain graph paper pages in the back of the notebook for all your note taking. Like other Hobonichis, we have a year at a glance up front, a sort of very skinny year at a glance or index page, and then monthlies. These are some stickers that I personally have added, monthlies that sort of span the rest of the year. And again, like all the other planners being released in the fall, it starts in January. But the Hobonichi Weeks also has a bunch of different varieties. So it has this slim vertical size, but then it also has a bigger size that's about twice as big as this. That is called the Weeks Mega. And the Weeks Mega, instead of coming with just 70 pages in the back, it contains something like 220 graph pages in the back. It's about 3 times the amount of graph paper. So if you're concerned about running out of space with the note pages in the back, but you really like this particular weekly layout, then you can get the larger size, which will be just a little bit thicker. I also have this here in the plastic cover on cover that Hobonichi sells, but the covers are almost always this sort of hardback material. It can easily be thrown in a bag or a backpack for on the go. The covers are really where you're going to see the most distinction or definition in the Hobonichi Weeks. So this one, for example, has a nice like gold sheen, is a solid color. They have lots of solid colors that they release every single year. You can also get one with a design. So this is an artist that designed out this cover, and Hobonichi printed it on the planner. Basically, these are meant to be seen and meant to be sort of customizable. And then they also have what's called the Sneaker Weeks. So this is actually a Sneaker Weeks Mega. So like I said, it has twice the amount of notes pages. Let's get an actual count. Yeah, I think that was like 210, exactly. So this particular one is a Mega, but all of the Sneaker Weeks, quote unquote, are slightly smaller in size than a traditional Weeks. You can see there's some overhang here and here. And their cover is a lot more like papery and flexible than a hardback Weeks cover is. So if you want something slightly smaller, if you want something a little bit more flexible, this planner might be for you. And of course, if you want something slightly larger with more note pages, the Mega might be for you. At this point in the video, I just want to pause and take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Skillshare. As regular viewers of this channel know, I am a huge fan of Skillshare because it is a community of creative and curious individuals sharing courses on everything from photography and digital skills to crafts and illustration. But they also have so many more courses so that you can explore your latest project or side hustle. No goal is too small. If you are interested in learning something, Skillshare has your back. This week, I've been checking out Emma Gannon's course, Unlocking Your Potential: 5 Exercises to Build Creative Confidence. One of the hardest parts about doing creative work is to believe in yourself enough to get that idea out of your head and into the real world. Self-sabotage is one of my brain's favorite tricks to play on me, which is where Emma comes in. Her course will walk you through specific strategies to reclaim your creative spark, from cutting out comparisons to silencing your inner critic and eventually to owning your success. So if you have been looking for that extra little push to start your next creative project, look no further. And as a viewer of this channel, you can check out that course or any other new course on Skillshare totally free. The first 1,000 people to click on the link in my description and sign up will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Okay, let's get back to choosing a Hobonichi. There are 2 other varieties of planner that I also don't have, which is essentially the 5-year Techo, which is a 5-year sort of date book that lines up the same date across 5 years on one page. I will leave a screenshot of it on the screen. Essentially, the 5-year Techo, I don't really consider a planner. It is much more functions like a journal, so I'm not going to be talking about it in this video. And then also they have the HON planner, which essentially is either a cousin size or a Hobonichi Techo original size, but it just has a hardcover like the Hobonichi Weeks. So a lot of the designs will be shared across the covers. So for example, like this cover would also be recreated in an HON version and so on and so forth. But it's that hardcover because the covers of Hobonichi Cousins and Hobonichi Techos can kind of get, like, they're just cardstock. So they're not really that strong and they can kind of rip during the year or get dirty very easily. Most people who have a Hobonichi Cousin or original will buy planner covers on top of their planner so that the planner doesn't get dirty, but it does make the planner quite a bit bigger. For example, this is a cover that I got a couple of years ago from Hobonichi, and if I put my Hobonichi Cousin in the planner, you can see that it's like ginormous. It's really big, it's heavy, it's thick, and this can be good, but if you don't want to have to get an extra cover, you can get an HON version. Again, picture on the screen, which has the different material. It's harder cover and it's not this soft cover. Some universal features across all of the planners is they all have Hobonichi's signature Tomoe River paper, this very thin Bible-like paper that creases really easily. It's much beloved among Hobonichi enthusiasts. The Weeks actually has a cream version of the paper, so if we open up to a blank page here and a blank page here, you can kind of see the difference. This is cream, this is white. As I said before, they will all be January start if you purchase them this fall, but if you wait until the spring, you're going to get some spring start planners, which start in April and then end in April of the following year. So how do you choose between the planners? The first dimension I want you to think across is size. And to think about size, you really want to think about where you are using these planners. So for example, I love a Hobonichi Weeks because it is small and it is very portable. This is maybe my favorite planner out of the Hobonichi lineup, and it has, for me, everything I need. It is quite small, so if you don't like writing really small, you may want to consider a bigger planner, but it is so compact, it is so lightweight, it fits in my bag, it fits in, if you have a larger wallet case, it can even fit in your wallet. The Hobonichi Weeks is great for things like financial planning or health tracking because you often need to do those things when you're on the go. I also like using this for a work planner because I need to take it back and forth from work. So it fits everything I need to have it fit for work in here, and it's really lightweight. I'm not lugging around a bigger planner everywhere I go. The Hobonichi Techo is a little bit bigger than the Hobonichi Weeks. I know size-wise it looks like they're both quite small planners, but the Hobonichi Techo Original and then the Hobonichi Planner are a little bit bigger and feel a little bit more weighty simply because the amount of pages they have. Remember, these have a day per page. So the Hobonichi Weeks has a nice lightweight cover and then also has maybe like half, if that, of the pages in the Hobonichi Techo and the Planner. So this is the most lightweight, most portable option. If you get a Sneaker Weeks, it's even more lightweight. Of course, if you add the mega pages in the back, it is going to be a little bit heavier, but the Sneaker Weeks has even less weight because it has this flexible cover. So these are the most lightweight, the most portable. You do kind of have to like a weekly layout in order to use these, but the most lightweight, the most portable. And then there's things like the Cousin or the A5 Day Free Planner, which are much, much larger. The Cousin particularly is a behemoth. It's really, really thick. It has, remember, monthlies, dailies, and weekly pages. So that's like something like 500, 600 pages just in this one book. So I would not recommend getting this planner unless you are going to pretty much keep it at your desk or keep it at home or keep it at the office. Keeping this planner in one spot is really the best utilization of this planner because it is heavy. Lugging it back and forth can be taxing, but it is a really good sort of like, it has everything you need for one specific location. If you're just doing an all-in-one work planner, it can be really beneficial for that. You have a ton of space to write everything you need in this planner, but it is pretty big. So if you want to buy it, just keep that in mind. Basically, the A5 planners, I consider not planners that I would be taking with me on the go. Those are books that stay on a desk somewhere. In terms of an all-around good size option, I do really like the Techo Original and the Hobonichi Planner as options for you. I actually use this as a journal, so I journal about my page every day. Let me see if I can show you an example. Okay, so this is when I went to the Taylor Swift concert and I just filled up the page and I journaled about it. And I take this with me when I travel because this is my diary, this is my journal. So it is really portable. You can just throw it in a bag. It's a little bit thicker, and if you tape things in it like I do, it will become even thicker over time. So it's not as quite lightweight as the Weeks, but it is really good if you need the space to write and you want something that you can kind of take with you, but you don't quite know if you want to invest in a Cousin or an A5 Day Free Planner. The second dimension I recommend you look at when deciding on a planner is what you want the planner to hold. So, for example, the Weeks planner, like I said, it makes a good single-use planner. It makes a really good portable planner, but it really does not have that much space. It is very hard to fit all your appointments in this monthly section, for example. Lots of people approach the weekly section and find they don't have enough space to write all of their to-dos or to track everything that they want to track because there is such a small section here and only one memo page associated with it. There are, of course, daily pages in the back, and you can get the Mega. I don't think I've ever seen anyone complain about the Mega having not enough pages for you to fill it up with what you need, but I do understand the complaints that the like pre-printed layout parts, which include the weekly, the monthly, and the yearly being just way too small to fit anything meaningful in. Again, I've been able to make it work, and I really appreciate how I've been able to make it work, but for some people, it just might be too small. Or you are the type of person who wants to have everything, absolutely everything in one planner. And if you are that type of person, I really, really recommend the Hobonichi Cousin because the Hobonichi Cousin has, say it with me, monthly, weeklies, and daily layouts, and it really can act as an all-in-one planner. Now, I caveated the size in a big way, but one of the other cool features about Hobonichi is that the Hobonichi Cousin and the Hobonichi Techo Original come in the avec versions as well. So it means you get half of the planner, January to June, and then the other half, July to December, in two separate books. So instead of having it all in one book, you have them separated out. And for the Hobonichi Cousin, it's the same thing. You have them separated out. So it's about half of the physical weight and mass, and you can just start the new book in July when you get there. But this planner definitely can hold a lot more than a Weeks. And if you find yourself needing a little bit more space than just this to plan out your tasks, you will for sure have that in the Cousin, but you will also have that in the Hobonichi Techo Original and the Hobonichi Techo planner. The day frees also have this additional space, but they don't have a day per page. So it's a little bit give and take based on how many daily pages you think you will need versus how light or minimal layouts you want the planner to have. So in terms of an all-rounder planner that I recommend for anybody trying their first Hobonichi, I recommend the original. I was hesitant to get this planner because it is kind of quite small. It is itty bitty. It is A6 size, and it can feel quite small, especially to American audiences coming to like a Japanese planner for the first time. It's my understanding that a lot of Japanese planners are like quite small. They have smaller / different sizing than American planners, but go with me on this one. This planner really has what you need in it. Unless you are a die-hard for a weekly layout and you know you need a weekly, I recommend this because you have enough space on the daily pages to brainstorm, write a to-do list, write a journal entry, and you have enough space in the beginning in the monthly pages to really plan out how your year is going to go. So this is just a really solid option for anyone buying a first planner. I recommend this size. Of course, the Hobonichi planner comes in a close second to that because it is, again, the same size and it has basically the same layouts. For me, I feel like this layout is just I don't like it as much as I like this layout. So you can choose between these two, or you can get the English version of this. It's up to you based on what your preferences are in terms of layout and in terms of language. But I would say one of these two planners is a really good starting point for anybody getting into Hobonichi. Now, I want to say that because I know you are going to want to get the cousin. Everybody has a cousin on social media. And honestly, if you want this planner, just get this planner. It is a great planner. This is the planner that I started with when I started with Hobonichi, and it served me very well in 2021, and then I got another one in 2022. So it has served me very well, but I will say, having tried more Hobonichi products, I find that something smaller actually works better for my needs than the Hobonichi cousin, and I am not actively in this planner anymore. But it is a great option if you want an all-in-one planner that can do everything. You can do sort of long-term planning in your monthlies. Then, of course, the weeklies are for like more granular day-to-day stuff. And then the dailies can be whatever you want. It can be to-do lists. It has plenty of room for journaling or brainstorming or whatever. I know lots of people choose to like do a day per page in here and do all of their planning in the beginning of the planner. It's basically whatever you want it to be, and this planner can really be all those things. It's just that it's really heavy and it can be quite overwhelming, especially if you've never used a planner of this size or with all three different types of layouts before. So that's why I recommend the small fries over here to start with, because I think they are really effective. And of course, if you are like me and you do need a weekly layout, you live and die by that weekly, you can always try the week's planner as well. Is there anything else important to consider when purchasing a Hobonichi? We talked about covers, we talked about designs, we talked about size. I would definitely say Hobonichi is kind of an acquired taste if you are first using it. It has a huge cult following, but if you're just coming to this video like, should I try Hobonichi? I think they're really high quality, really well-made planners. They are expensive, but they are also, again, really high quality. So it's definitely an investment, and you might want to try, like I said, one of the smaller planners, because if you get a big Hobonichi cousin, this one can get quite spendy. But these are a little bit more affordable, and you can sort of try the paper, try the style, see if you like it, see if it brings you joy. And if it doesn't, it's okay. We're all here just to find the perfect planner for us. So, of course, we don't have examples of the Day Free or the 5-Year Techo, the HON book, or the Avec cousin or original. So visuals for all of those and a full comparison chart put out by Hobonichi will be linked down in the description below, so you can go do some more reading yourself. Let me know down in the comments below what Hobonichi product you are going to be picking up, or if you've already placed your order, let me know what you bought. I'm so excited for my planners to arrive and to see what everyone in the community does with them. If you want to keep hanging out with me, I have another sweet Hobonichi video over here by my head, or you can follow me on Instagram at Rachelle in Theory. And thank you so much for watching, for being subscribed, for being awesome. I love you, and I will see you in the next one.